and welcome to Mindful Pilates. Okay, so we'll begin with the inner core. As you lie down, find your neutral spine. Relax your shoulders broad. Let the heads of your arm bones at the shoulders settle back. Palms up, thumbs out. And tune it into the breath, drawing the breath deep into the belly, the side waist, and the low back. Remember, we want a three-dimensional breath. And yesterday in yoga, I used the image as you inhale of the abdomen getting pressed on from the top like a water balloon. There's a displacement that happens of the contents of the abdomen, and they move out towards the circumference as you inhale. So feel for that circumference opening around the abdomen as the diaphragm descends, massaging the liver and the stomach. Then as you exhale, feel the diaphragm floating up under the lungs. And as you inhale, the diaphragm descends, massaging the abdomen. And we come into diaphragmatic breath as the beginning of our core work. The diaphragm being our main muscle of breathing, so that it feels like the work of the breath begins at the solar plexus. We know that when we're relaxed, as we inhale and the diaphragm descends, so does the pelvic floor. And as we exhale and the diaphragm ascends, so does the pelvic floor. And we know these two diaphragms are connected fascially to the transverse abdominis, our corset muscle, creating a cylinder inside our bodies that helps to protect our spine. Fluid breath. Now on your next exhale, lift the tailbone skyward, flattening your lumbar curve. And then inhale, tailbone towards the earth. Really over accentuate the lumbar curve. And exhale, flatten the curve. And inhale, gently over accentuate the curve. And continue to nod your pelvis with your breath. Still breathing into the three dimensions of your abdomen, opening the circle of the lowest ribs. Even just noticing this breath, inviting it deep into the body, is core work. This helps make sure that we're opening the tissue, the full circumference of the spine. Now, next time you exhale the tailbone towards the sky, pause and stay in the flattened spine against the floor and breathe deep into the floor, into the back body. Feel for the breath now coming into the back low ribs, into the low back, massaging around the kidneys. And as you tilt tailbone towards the sky, feel how you've activated your glutes on the ilium bones to tilt your pelvis. Feel how your hamstrings may be turned on. And if you want to turn the hamstrings on a little more, gently draw your heels towards your sit bones, keeping your flattened spine as long as it doesn't hurt your back. Breathe into the back body. Feel for the breath in the back body. Shoulders stay broad. And then exhale into your neutral lumbar curve. Take an inhale. And exhale, float one leg to tabletop. Inhale, land the foot light as a feather. Exhale, float the other leg to tabletop. Inhale, land light as a feather. Now, if your spine is flat against the floor while you're beginning this Pilates work, then put a folded blanket underneath your sacrum and take out the pillow if it feels at all like it's lifting your neck too much. Now exhale the first leg to tabletop, take an inhale. Exhale the second leg to tabletop. Bring your heels together and open your knees at least as wide as your shoulders and toe dip on the inhale. Exhale, heel to heel. Inhale, toe dip just about 2/3 of the way down and exhale, heel to heel. Inhale down and exhale up. Make sure you're keeping your shoulders broad. Fluid breath. This actually begins the upper body strengthening work that you requested. By staying broad in the shoulders and grounding the arm bones back, you are beginning to strengthen the upper back. Now, don't do this by flaring your ribs skyward. Just try to open across the back, stretch open across the front chest while you're still keeping your Pilates square strong. Let's bring our thumbs to the low ribs and our fingers to our hip pointers and feel for your Pilates square staying stable. As you begin to work your main hip flexor, the psoas, fluid breath. Feel for a neutral spine. You still have your cervical curve of your neck, gaze perpendicular to the floor. You still have your lumbar curve to the low back. Now, floating up, bring your shins parallel to each other, your femur bones parallel, and place your hands on the front of your thighs, the front of your femur bones. Press your hands into the thighs, relax your collar away from your ears, and pull your knees toward your chest. This should activate your core. Now, don't do this so hard that it bunches up your belly or it compresses your spine. Keep your neutral curves. So you could be pressing at 10% of effort, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. But if you get up to 100% of effort, my guess is you will be pinching the spaces between your vertebrae. You will be bunching up your belly. So only press as hard as you can keep a long spine, a neutral spine, and you can still breathe into the work, feeling the breath enter the torso, filling that canister that's created by your diaphragm, your transverse abdominis, and your pelvic floor. Now, draw your knees into your chest, circle them wide apart and back together again. And we'll warm up the hips a little bit, get the synovial fluid flowing, and take your circles the other way. Fluid breath. So today, let's do our series of 5 with our Gertie ball, and we'll get the core turned on for the other work you wanted to do. Let's bring the ball into your right knee, towards your right knee as you lengthen your left leg out, either towards the sky, towards a 45-degree angle, or a 30-degree angle, depending on how much you want those front abdominals working. And then switch. Now remember, if you're lifting your leg towards the sky and your hamstrings are tight, you don't have to straighten the leg fully. And over time, you take the leg farther and farther out. Press the ball into the leg that's coming toward you with a bent knee. Lengthen the other leg out like you're pressing on a button. Nod your nose towards your mouth, almost lift from your hairline. Again, working your upper body by working your front neck flexors and their connection down into the spine. Some of you will float the head up and look towards the knees. Good. Now release the head back. Place the ball between your knees, flex your feet, and pulse the knees together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Bring your hands behind your head. Exhale, lift your right elbow towards the sky. Lifting the right elbow, reach the right low ribs across towards the left hip pointer. Keep hugging the ball, keep hugging the ball. And now switch. Lift the left elbow. Lengthen through the crown. Reach the left low ribs across towards the right hip pointer. And switch. And switch. And switch. Now as you switch, pulse the ball. Relax as you go back down. Pulse as you lift the elbow. Feel the work. We're not reaching the elbow towards the knee because we don't want to compress the front of the vertebrae. We're reaching the elbow towards the sky, waking up our obliques, and roll the head back down. Take the ball in your hands and take the ball away from your knees. Toe dip both legs and tap. You could toe dip one leg and tap as it comes up and toe dip the other. That's up to you. Or you can take both legs out and tap the shin with the ball, toe dipping. Some of you will want to switch from toe dipping to lengthening the legs, bringing the heels together in your Pilates V, and dipping the leg and tapping the shin. Stay with the one that's best for you. Remember, you can hug the glutes into the bone and you can lift from the hamstrings at the back. Feel how you're connecting your legs and your arms into the center core with this work. Now come back in, and some of you will place the ball between your ankles. Some may place the ball again between your knees. Tap your shins with your hands and toe dip, and tap, and toe dip. Now we're keeping track of the midline between the ankles and the inner thighs. Fluid breath. Some of you will straighten the legs, tap and release. Some of you will nod nose towards mouth and float the head up. Fluid breath. Arms and legs moving away from each other, connected by your center core. Feel for it. And come back in. Take the ball with your hands. Float one foot to the floor and then the other. Bring the ball down to your belly and breathe into the ball. Breathe the side waist wide. Tilt the tailbone towards the sky. Activate your glutes. Breathe into the low back. And relax into your neutral curve. Float one leg to tabletop, the other to join. Bring the right leg overhead, left leg down the mat. Take the ball behind the right leg and switch. And switch. Remember, you can bend the front knee if your hamstrings are tight. Fluid breath. Some of you will nod nose towards mouth and almost lift the head. Others will lift the head and face the shins. Keep the back of the neck in its neutral curve and point your feet. And float your feet. And flex your feet. Stretching the backs of the legs. And take the ball the other way and point your feet. And float your feet. And flex your feet. Reach through the heels. Stretch your calves. Stretch the backs of your knees up into your hamstrings. And release. Come into tabletop. Hold the ball with your left hand. Press it against your right femur. Take your right arm open and toe dip your left leg. And tap your palm on your left knee as you draw the left knee in. Open the arm, open the leg, and tap. And open and tap. Now remember, you could open just a few inches. Okay? That might be enough for some of you. Keep your front square active. Some of you will toe dip a little farther. I'd rather you not touch the ground because then you use momentum as you rebound. You're actually using the muscles in a stronger way if you don't tap the floor. Fluid breath. Feel how you're working your obliques. And come back. Take the ball in the right hand. Press it into the left femur. Open the left arm. Tap the left palm to the right knee. Toe dip and open the arm. Remember, this could be small. Actually, try it small. It's hard to do it small. Fluid breath. You're working on precision when you try a small movement and then make it a little larger. Can you make it larger without using momentum? Fluid breath. Feel how you're doing crossbody work as you press the ball into the still femur bone. And as you move the opposite side, creating stability across your myofascial slings for movement. One more. And pause. Place the ball between your knees and your feet on the floor. And pulse into the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hold. Straighten one leg and pulse into the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hold. As you're holding, press down into the four corners of your standing foot. Lift your toes, lift your arches. Float the long leg foot. Stretch from transverse arch to pinky toe ball mound. From big toe ball mound to pinky toe ball mound. And relax both feet and pulse the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, as you hug the ball in, hug from the outer edge of the leg, from the outside of the glutes. Feel into the canister you can create with your legs, with your hips. And bend the knee to the floor and pulse with both feet on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tilt tailbone towards earth. Take a deep inhale. Tilt tailbone towards sky. Take a deep inhale. And come back to neutral. Straighten the second leg and pulse the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hold. As you hold, hug in from the outer edges of the legs. Hug the glutes into the bone and bring your arms into a T, elbow to elbow, palms facing the foot of your mat, and press back across the length of your arms. Again, bringing upper body work into it. Now pulse the ball again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Hug in from each hip. Lift the toes of your standing foot. Find the four corners and the three arches. Float your long leg foot. Reach out through the big toe ball mound and the pinky toe ball mound. And one more time. Pulse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And relax both feet. And step your foot to the floor. And still pressing back from shoulder to elbow. Feel the strength at your middle back. Maintain your Pilates square and pulse the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hold. Take a few fluid breaths. Keep holding. Keep hugging hip towards hip. Keep hugging knee towards knee. Keep pressing back shoulder to elbow. And now gently tilt tailbone towards sky, flattening the lumbar curve into the floor. Feel your glutes active. Feel the outer legs hugging towards midline. And relax. Okay, in that work, we have connected now the core down through the legs to the feet. Beautiful. Okay, let's do a little bit more right here. Let's bring either our block ball or oov underneath our sacrum and do a little balance work before we come up to work upper body and feet and balance. Float one leg to tabletop. Float your other to join. Now, you are working on balance here. If you're on the ball or the oov, hug your legs towards each other. Flex your feet. Feel that midline you created and feel the container, outer hips, outer legs towards center. Press back broad across your shoulders and down your robot arms, palm facing palm, cross your belly. Stay broad in the shoulders. Rest the head of the arm bones back, strong in your Pilates square, and open your right leg out to the right and pause. Feel the strength from right shoulder to left buttock and come back in. Open the left leg out to the left and pause. Feel the strength from left shoulder to right buttock across your back and come back in. This is upper body strength building. Open your right leg again. Feel right shoulder blade to left buttock. Feel strength in your front Pilates square. Exhale back in. Inhale, take your left leg out. You can breathe a few breaths here as we feel left shoulder to right buttock, the strength of our front Pilates square, and come back in. Now, keeping everything still but the moving limb, take the right leg out smoothly. Come back in smoothly. Take the left leg out smoothly. Come back in smoothly. And do this a few more times at your own pace. Fluid breath. Gaze perpendicular to the floor. Feel into creating stability and stillness. You're working on balance here. You're waking up your myofascial slings to help you with standing balance. Fluid breath. Now, lift your legs straight up towards the sky. Take the right leg overhead, left leg long, and go into your bicycles. So in doing the front abdominal core work that we started with, when we were doing toe dips and series of 5 work with the ball, we were really working our hip flexors. So we're working them again right here, but we're creating an eccentric contraction as we lower the leg in the bicycle. And if you can bring the leg low and even touch the toe on the floor and draw it back towards your buttock, then you're really getting that lengthening, strengthening of the psoas. Now bring both legs back up top. Come into your Pilates V. Hug up the center line of your legs and hug the glutes to the bone. Hug up the outer edges of your leg to the pinky toe side of the foot, hugging towards center. Feel how you can create a real strength in your legs as you hug that center line. Now, keeping that center line in your awareness, open your feet as wide as your mat. Take the heels down the mat, bring the heels together, find that hug of the legs and come back up center. And open, down and together. And perhaps floint your feet, spreading from big toe ball mount to pinky toe ball mount. As you feel these circles differently today, feel for the hug of the inner line and the hug of the outer leg towards center. One more. Now go down the center channel, open the legs and come back up. Flex the feet. Press out through the heels, but still feel for that engagement of the buttocks into the ilium bones, especially when you get to the low point of the circle. Feel into how your buttocks can kind of help create a container to help move the legs back up. Broad across your shoulders, strong down the arms. The upper body is working. We're connecting the legs into the core, to the shoulders and head. Coming back together, open your legs into a scissor and bicycle backwards. Fluid breath. Now, even here when you're bicycling, can you feel your glutes? Can you feel the outer edges of your leg and create a container for this movement? From the outside edges towards the center channel. That way we may not flop our legs kind of out to the edge and back towards center line. We might find smoother action as we hug in from the outer edges towards center. This is kind of advanced awareness. Floint your feet. Flex your feet, stretching the myofascia of the legs. And come back to center. And float one leg to the floor, one foot and the other. Stretch one leg out long and lift your arms overhead. Inhale into the stretch. Exhale, relax over the prop. A few more breaths. Now, when you have your pelvis lifted like this, it's easy to feel the three-dimensional breath. Feel for the diaphragm moving. Release the inner thigh away from the navel. And when you're ready, switch. Inner thigh away from navel, deep inhale. Relaxed exhale. Fluid breath. And draw the feet back in and float the pelvis up off your prop and take it out. Now stay in your bridge, hugging the glutes into the bone, lifting the pelvis skyward, broad across your shoulders and strong down your robot arms. Again, feel for the three-dimensional breath as you inhale into the whole circle of the lowest ribs, expanding them. And as you exhale, feel how the body comes back towards the center channel of the spine. Root down into the four corners of your feet. Lift your toes, lift your arches. Hug the center channel. Building upper body strength from the back as you press down into the arms. across the shoulders. Now turn your palms up. Let the whole length of the arm rest against the mat. Lift the heart away from the pubic bone. Hug the heels in towards the buttocks. Feel the hamstrings turn on. Deep three-dimensional breath. And one more. And release. Okay, let's roll over onto hands and knees. And let's come onto our forearms, palms together, and walk our knees back. Let's begin with a low knee plank, feet towards the sky. Palms together, elbows beneath shoulders, pressing down into your forearms. Take a deep three-dimensional breath. As you exhale through your straw, reach your tailbone towards your heels. Lift the pelvic floor into the body. Inhale, feel the circumference of your lowest ribs. Exhale through the straw. Feel for the hug of the transverse abdominis. Lengthen your neck. Your gaze should be down towards your hands, not forward. Hug the glutes into the bone. Now you can stay with this or lengthen your legs, toes curling under, lift into your low plank. Weight onto the forearms, reminding the upper body's arm bones. They need to be strong. We put weight on them. Now gently hug your glutes into the bone. Reach your tailbone for the heels as you reach your crown away. Stay with your three-dimensional breath. Feel into how you work from your core down into your forearms, long down the legs into your knees or your feet. And release your knees to the floor and roll back into a child's pose. Take a few three-dimensional breaths. Next time you exhale, exhale through your straw. Draw the pelvic floor into the body. Inhale and soften. Exhale, draw the pelvic floor into the body. Feel your diaphragm lifting. Inhale, soften. Exhale, lift the pelvic floor into the body. Feel the breathing diaphragm lift. In yoga, you're actually working on Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha in this practice. Some people can feel the pelvic floor lift really well in this position. Now reach your hands as wide as your shoulders. Activate your finger pads into the mat and float shoulders up over wrists. Now we're in our tabletop position and we're going to inhale into our cow and pause there. Now here, can you still draw glutes towards the bone? Can you still draw legs towards the center channel? And can you exhale through your straw, lifting the pelvic floor into the body? Feel how you can support your lumbar spine. Take your shoulders away from your ears. And pause here, feeling yourself hugging towards that center channel. Now, without lifting the navel straight up towards the sky, take your tailbone long and curl it towards the floor. Activate your low abdominals as this wave washes you up into your hissing cat. So you start the movement from your pelvis. Hug the glutes in towards your hips. Reach the tailbone towards the floor as the navel lifts towards the spine and spine towards the sky in a rainbow shape. Now even here, keep the glutes hugging in towards the bone. Exhale through your straw, lift the pelvic floor up into the body. Feel the breathing diaphragm lift up under the lungs. And come back to your neutral. Okay, let's do a little more balance work here. Take your fingertips forward and toes back and float your limbs up. And float your limbs down. Don't bend the knee or the elbow. Just float the whole limb up and the whole limb down. Stay strong across your shoulders and into the standing arm and leg. Now you can stay with this motion, or you can float up and draw elbow towards knee under the body, cat curling the spine. And inhale, lengthen into your neutral curves. And exhale, elbow towards knee. And inhale, long. In this work, we do work the stabilizers of the spine, the multifidi. This next time you lengthen out, if you'd like to, lift hand and foot, come into a back bend. Take a deep inhale. Exhale through your straw, lift pelvic floor into the body, lengthen through the crown, and float the limbs to the floor. Let's try the other side. Inhale, lift fingertips and toes away from floor. Exhale, gently tap down. Inhale, up, exhale, tap down. Now can you reach your tailbone long? Away from the base of your skull. Keep your neutral curves in your spine. Keep each finger pad hugging in towards the center palm. And inhale, lift up. Exhale if you'd like, elbow towards knee. Inhale, lengthen out into neutral. Exhale. See how you stabilize around your center channel. You're working your core. You're working hip muscles. You're working your myofascial slings. And this time as you lengthen out, float, lift the wrist, lift the ankle. Take a few fluid breaths. And release down. Let's inhale another cow and pause. Feel how you can create a container for this pose, lifting your front abdominals, lifting your pelvic floor into the body to support the low back. And then exhale, tailbone guides the movement as a wave washes up the spine, lifting you into hissing cat. Feel how as you tilt the pelvis and activate the glutes, you also activate the low abdominals. Press your hands away from your knees. Breathe into the back body. And come back to your neutral. Okay, you hand weight people. Bring in whatever size hand weights you need. Oops. Okay. Okay, sorry. It was saying something about one of your video frames. Okay, here we are on our hands and knees. Take your hand weight in your right hand and float your shoulder blade onto your back. Okay, those of you who wanted upper back strength, here we go. Feel into the shoulder blade that's lifted. Remember, you can do this without hand weights as well. Feel into the hand on the ground. Look down at it. Fingers spread evenly. Hug those finger pads into the palm to help protect your carpal tunnel. Those of you with wrist issues, you could be on your knuckles with a straight wrist here, or you could purchase one of those lifts that has you up like this with your wrist. Okay, and lower the lifted arm. Now lift the lifted arm again, really integrate the shoulder blade onto the back, and if you'd like to, lift the opposite shin. And lower and lift. Now you're working the shoulder and the glute of the lifting legs. You're stabilizing across your obliques. You're using your myofascial slings. Stay steady in your Pilates square, float up and hold. Breathe three-dimensionally. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Oops. Place your right hand on the floor, and we'll begin the other side. And as you're ready, float the wing up and hold. I'm going to watch you for a minute because I really want to make sure nobody's wrist is lifting too high. So float the wing up. Better to have the wrist a little lower than the shoulder. Yeah, these look really good. Try to lift the front of the arm bone up so you're not lifting the wrist too high. Good. Fluid breath. And then as you're ready, lower it down and float that arm up as you float the opposite leg. Make sure you are not hyperextending in your standing elbows. Those of you who tend to do that, be really careful. And you lower and lift at your own pace, staying steady in your Pilates square, trying to go as slow as you can to build that muscular strength. That looks good, Jill. Fluid breath, as long as it's not pulling too hard on your shoulder. And now find the lift again and see if you can hold. That hold helps you to build that strength. Fluid breath, stay steady in your front Pilates square. These look really, really good. Take one more inhale, exhale, and release. Beautiful. Okay, let's inhale a cow just for fun this time. And exhale your hissing cat. And inhale your cow. And exhale your hissing cat. Okay, let's step back out towards our plank. Okay, so some of you may want to come into a forearm plank if you have wrist issues. Remember, you could have a little higher forearm plank if you put your yoga blocks under your forearms and step back onto your toes. Or if your hands and wrists are okay, bring your hands down, activate your finger pads towards your palms, and step back into your plank. Rock across your toe hinges. Fluid breath. Stretching the myofascia around the toe joints is really important so they don't get too stiff and stuck. We don't want them kind of calcifying the joint. Now, come into your steady plank. Remember, you can always lower to your knees. Some of you may float one leg up, steady on your standing leg, long out your crown, building upper body strength. Lower the lifted foot and try the other side. Now, if you're in a steady two-legged plank and lifting the leg is too much, don't do it. It's okay to be in a long plank. One of the best core exercises there is, as long as you're not having a saggy back. Lower the lifted foot. Roll back into dolphin if you're on your forearms, or into downward dog if you're on your hands. And walk your dog. Fluid breath. Working on strong upper body. Now lower your knees back towards the floor and hover them just an inch off the floor. Bear pose. Building strength. Fluid breath. Now we've been rocking side to side a little bit, which you could continue to do to put more weight on one side and then the other. If you have the steadiness in your legs and arms to lift one hand and tap the opposite shoulder, you can try that. Do not do that if you have a shoulder injury or it doesn't feel good in your shoulder joint. It will rock you a little side to side. Knees stay low. Hovering in your bear, building upper body strength. Fluid breath. Either way, you're weighting your forearms, the bones in your hands. Cross your collar. Down into your hips. And float your pelvis back into your downward dog again. Downward dog becomes a rest pose. Fluid breath. Okay, let's lower to our knees and lower to one side of your body on your forearm. Remember, your elbow needs to be out towards the top of your head from your shoulder or right under your shoulder, but not tucked in towards your hip. You can roll your mat if your elbow is sensitive and put your elbow on top of the folded mat. Now let's rainbow the side body up and over. We want to make sure we build side body strength. This will help us with balance too. We did a lot of good work creating the container, front and back. Now you can stay with this. If your shoulders are an issue, you could do this at the wall as well. If you can, lift your hip. Pause for a breath, reaching hand away from shins. Feel for the three-dimensional breath into the whole circle of your lowest ribs. Hug the glutes in towards the pelvis to create the container. And lower back down. You can stay with that one, or next time you lift up, lift your arms straight up, lift the legs straight out. A fluid breath. Strong in your Pilates square, strong across your back myofascial slings, strengthening your side body. Now, some of you will be able to come back down and lift your hand weight, okay? Those of you who want upper body strength, you can lift up and open up again, lengthening the leg out of your pelvis, the arm straight up, and you can lower the arm forward and lift the arm skyward, and lower the arm forward and lift the arm skyward. Feel into the strength this takes across your back body. Lengthen the crown out away from your torso. Keep aware of that lengthened leg and your midline. One more. And lower back down. Okay, let's take it to the other side. So we build strength slowly. Some of you, if you're just beginning or if you've had a shoulder injury, you may be working here. Some of you may actually be standing, just putting a little weight into that forearm and working here. Okay, still beginning to work on side body strength. Some of you will be able to hug glutes towards the pelvis, lift up and fold over and breathe into the whole circumference of your lowest ribs. Practicing hugging glutes towards bone, hugging thighs towards midline. Feel how you can create strength in the lower body to support the lifted upper body. It's not all on the arms and the collar. And float back down. Reach for your hand weight. And pressing down into the forearm. Well, let's not do the hand weight yet. You can float up and lift the arm and lengthen the leg out of the torso. So you can stay with the rainbows. You can stay with the lifted arch here. Or you can lift up. Lengthen. Feel for shoulder blades on your back. Glutes hugging in wherever you are. Those of you with lengthened limbs, spread across the arms, spread out through the leg and crown. And come back down. Some of you will lift the hand weight up with you. Coming into that lift overhead and lowering the arms, staying steady in the torso. And lifting back up, building upper body strength, side body strength, hip strength. Whichever practice you're choosing to do here. That's a good modification, Sharon. Just make sure your head is up over your heart. Fluid breath. There you go. And let's do one more with the hand weight. And come back down. Okay. I'm glad to see that you're all choosing different ways to take care of yourself. All right. Let's bring our hand weights up to standing now. And let's work on arm weights and some standing balance. So I only have my little hand weights here. Some of you may work with 3 to 5 pound hand weights for some of this. You can decide. But remember, proprioception is part of what we're working on. And if the strain in the arms makes you get more imbalanced with the balance work, then I'd recommend not doing it. I'm going to get my mat out of the way and some of my props. And go ahead and bring your block or your oov in to step onto. Let's see if it cuts off my head, okay? There we go. I'll put my screen a little higher for you. Okay, so you can see my arms. Okay. One foot on your block or your oov. 4 corners grounded. If you're on your oov, you're on the high back of your oov. And step up, bicep curl. And step down. So if you're on the oov, second toe aligns in the groove. I can't see all of your feet to see if any of you are on an oov. Fluid breath. Bicep curl up. Stand strong down into the four corners of the standing foot. Feel into the three arches steady. Have the heart lifted and the gaze at the mountaintop. Strong across the exit your back from shoulder to opposite buttock. We worked those lines a lot today. Now, if this is steady, go ahead and lift your knee. Remember, you can do all of this without stepping up onto a block. You could just be lifting the knee with your foot on the floor if balance is an issue. Fluid breath. Heart lifted, gaze lifted, shoulder blades strong on the back. We take that core work into balance work. Now, float up, lifted knee. See if you can lift your arms. And touch the toe down as you bend the elbows down and reach up with knee and hands. Steady pelvis, hip hugging towards hip. You know where the midline of your legs is. We trained that today. You're strong across your shoulders. And remember, if lifting the arms here doesn't feel good, you could lift them out. You could lift them down at a diagonal. With hand weights, you're still working your arms. Whichever angle works for you, you could bend the elbows and lift the hand weights up towards your armpits. Okay, and you can play with that. Now see if you can lift up and pause. Whatever arm position is right for you. Hug hip towards hip. Root down into the four corners of the standing foot. Lift through the crown. And step back down. Okay, good work on that side. Let's try the other side. Foot on to your prop if you're using that. Bicep curl up to the toe. You could also step onto the block here and then choose not to when we lift the knee. Fluid breath. Heart lifted. Feel for the containers you created earlier in class, hip to hip. Feel for your front Pilates square, your neutral curves. And then as you're ready, you can lift the knee and lift the knee. And maybe you just tap the toe and lift the knee. Steady into the four corners of your standing foot. Three arches strong. Fluid breath. Shoulder blades on the back wide. Heart lifted, gaze lifted. And then we lift up and perhaps stretch the arms in whatever direction's right. And we bend the elbows and lift and bend and lift. Fluid breath. Working the upper body and the lower body, connecting them with a strong core. And see this time if you can lift and hold, building balance. Beautiful. And step down and roll your shoulders. Okay, let's do a little off the balancing block. Let's bend our knees towards our ski tuck. Make sure they're lining up over your second metatarsals. Hinge your spine forward. Reach down towards the floor. Lift your hand weights. You're broad across your collar. You are not dropping the head of the arm bone forward. And open the arms back. So I'm going to come a little closer so you can see my arms. We're not here. Okay, we're here. We're protecting the rotator cuff. Look in your own screen. Make sure you're not here. You're here. You see the difference? Not here. Here. Bend your elbows. Lower the hand weights. Lift. This is the strong shoulder blades on your back. Make sure, so here's what happens to those of us with that accentuated lumbar curve. Make sure you're strong in your Pilates square. Strong right here. Lower the arms. Lift broad across your shoulders. Strong ribs to hip pointers. Reach your tailbone long behind you. There you go. Fluid breath. Bend your elbows and lower down. Lift and open. Bend and lower. Lift and open and hold. Strong. So elbows up, straighten the arms if you can. Broad collar. Collar releasing away from your ears. Feel into good tricep work. Ground into the four corners of your feet. Bend your elbows. Release your arms. Come up to standing. And roll your shoulders. Fluid breath. Okay, we did some good strengthening with the triceps. Now, I'd like us to do one more balancing work with a little additional leg strengthening that we started in the past. If you have a circle TheraBand, place it around your arches of your feet. Can you see what I've done? So it's under my foot and over the top of my foot at the arch. Now you can choose not to use the TheraBand if that's adding too much. Strong across your collar, shoulder blades on your back. We're going to bicep curl again and lift one foot up against the TheraBand. And lower and tap and lift. And you can just keep the foot lifted if you can maintain the balance. Lifting in mini bicep curls. Or you can take the arms out, open the arms, and come in and out and in and out. Lift the leg as the hands come in. And feel how you're building strength and balance, lifting up, lifting the heart. And one more. And step that foot down, release the arms and roll the shoulders, and lift to the other foot. So here you can bicep curl. Those of you with shoulder issues, you may just want to bicep curl right here with elbows down. Those of you who can lift the arms, bicep curl in and in. Fluid breath. Lifting that strap, pressing down into the standing foot. Good work for the feet. Connecting feet into the core while we also connect arms into the core. Let's do two more. 1, 2, and step out. Release the TheraBand and roll your shoulders. Okay, let's put the hand weights down. Let's come to hands on the belly. And standing in mountain pose, heels underneath your sit bones. Breathe into your abdomen. And exhale, release. Feel these low ribs expanding forward. Feel for the displaced contents of the water balloon of your abdomen pressing out into your hands. Now bring your hands around to your side waists and breathe into your hands. Breathe yourself wide. Let the little bucket handles of your rib cage open. Bring your hands up under the ribs a little bit. Open the bucket handles of your ribs. Feel for the ribs lifting out into your hands. Let the hands come a little lower. Feel the waistline lifting out into your hands. Now bring your fingertips to the back, if that's okay for your shoulders, or even the backs of your hands. And breathe into the back. You may even massage this area if it's really tight, inviting it to open so the breath can move into this back tissue. This is one of the most important things we can do to create strength and stability all the way around the spine. Now bring your hands down to your glutes and tap your glutes and hug them gently into the bone. So you're not clenching and gripping your buttocks, but you're hugging in, creating a container. And step your heels together into a Pilates V. Zip up the inseam of your legs as you hug the glutes with a little more strength into the bone. And imagine that wrap around your legs, hugging your legs into a mertail. Fluid breath. You are now mermaids in the ocean with one tail. Exhale, press into the transverse arch, lift your heels and lower your heels. And lift and lower. Keep that inseam hugging. Keep the legs hugging midline. Hug the center. Keep your square strong. Your heart lifted, shoulder blades on the back. Now lift up and hold, building strength in the bones of the feet. And lower your heels. Now, bend one knee and tap the toe into the ankle of the other foot. Looks like tree pose. But we're going to open this foot out along the mat and lift and tap. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Shoulder blades are strong on the back. Bring that foot in. Lift to the toe. See if the toe can tap the ankle. And then lengthen out in front of you. Hug the hips into midline. Lift the toe and tap. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And step in. Lift the first foot out again. Bend the knee, lift the knee, and tap. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Can you lift the knee and hold? Ground through the standing leg. Strong shoulder blades. Bring the knee to center. Step down, still Pilates V. Lift to the other toe. Hug the glutes in, lengthen, lift the heart. Lift the knee and tap. 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift and hold if you can. Root into the four corners. Hug into the container. And bring the knee forward. Step down, Pilates V. And let's inhale. Draw in healthy, safe energy into the body. Let's inhale in and feel into the day wherever we are, taking in the weather we are given. Inhale in. May you all have a wonderful Wednesday. All right, thank you.